I have a disturbingly bad take. Supernatural is my favorite TV show. The show changed so much over its 15 seasons that I could barely find the will to keep watching by the end. But in its prime, Supernatural was incredibly well done. It blended a unique world with intellectual themes, horror, humor, and an engaging plot. With season 1 celebrating its 20th anniversary this September, now feels like a perfect time to explore what made the show good and how it was able to linger long enough to become bad, and what critiques I would have to improve the show. Creating a world is really hard. The writer has to find a way to set the scene for our characters while also explaining all of this information to the audience. Supernatural navigates this beautifully. The inaugural season takes a huge risk by not having a plot-driven story, instead opting for a bit of an on-again, off-again murder mystery storyline. This allows for the show to focus on the three most important building blocks for the rest of the series, that being the world building, character development, and being downright entertaining. Although the main storyline starts in episode 1 with the death of Jessica, the show doesn't really expand our plot until episode 5, with the development of Sam's supernatural gifts. And then again in episode 9, when we see that John is still alive and actively searching for answers. Season 1 of Supernatural is dominated by what are affectionately known as Monster of the Week episodes. These episodes act as a mystery and investigation into the supernatural. This choice allows for the audience to discover the world of Supernatural organically without a reliance on major exposition or lore dumps. These episodes tend to reveal important information about our characters, like episode 3 showing a softer side of Dean, and episode 13 showing Dean's extreme loyalty and romantic intrigue to the point where we discover that Dean might actually want something other than the hunter's life, even if he doesn't think that for himself. We also get some awesome Sam-centric episodes, like episode 10 where we see a darker, angry side of Sam after he's hypnotized by a ghost, and in episode 19 where we see Sam grapple with grief, love, and acceptance after the loss of Jessica in episode 1. The lack of story in season 1 also allows us to focus on a major motif that will come to be incredibly important for the future seasons: the juxtaposition between Sam and Dean. Episodes 11, 18, and 20 develop Sam, showing that despite his goody two-shoes nature, he's actually a bit of a rebel and a prodigal son, constantly challenging the authority of their father. Sam also demands a greater sense of free will and autonomy, with the simple wish of wanting control over his own destiny, like going to college. We also see a really interesting counter from Dean. We see Dean's loyalty to his father, Dean's need for approval, and the need to control everything around him, and the sense of anxiety he feels when he loses that sense of control. Supernatural Season 1 also allows itself to just be unapologetically entertaining and horrifying, with Episode 2 and 15 being downright bone-chilling. Episode 2, Wendigo, will always have a special place in my heart because the first time I watched it. The following day, I went camping deep in the Adirondack Mountains, and every sound I heard in the forest nearly made me shat myself. This tangent brings me to an important cinematic choice from the showrunners, and that being the use of lighting and color scheme. So much of the filming of this show occurs at night, which just makes the show more spooky, and the use of blues, grays, and black help to add a sense of dread and horror to each episode. I mean, even in daylight, the show is really gray and really chilling. Season 1 is not perfect. I mean, Bugs exists as an episode, and the pacing in the last 2 episodes is not ideal, with the show throwing so much at the audience so quickly. The cliffhanger ending also really hurts the show in my opinion, and I can see how it would have driven me mad if I watched it live back in 2006. If I could change anything about Season 1 of Supernatural, I honestly would end it with episode 20, as it feels like a much more natural place to end the story of Season 1. Our protagonists get the Colt, which is the only weapon capable of killing a demon. They also agree to hunt Azazel together as a family. The loose storyline of finding Dad and discovering the mystery around their mother's death also has come to a close by the end of this episode. This also would set up the show perfectly for its more plot-driven Season 2. I think a slightly modified version of episode 21 and 22 would be a crazy way to introduce Supernatural's second season. Overall, Season 1 of Supernatural is fantastic. Its ability to blend horror, humor, and a fantastic set of characters together makes the show great. Overall, I grade season 1 as a strong B+, almost an A-. While I do have some critiques for the show, overall it sets up the world and our cast so well that I still think it's fantastic opening season despite its minor flaws.